Tonight, 8 Democrats voted with the Republicans to allow them to go forward on this continuing resolution. And to my mind, this was a very, very bad vote. What it does, first of all, is it raises healthcare premiums for over 20 million Americans by doubling, and in some cases tripling or quadrupling. People can't afford that when we are already paying the highest prices in the world for healthcare. Number 2, it paves the way for 15 million people to be thrown off of Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. Studies show that will mean that some 50,000 Americans will die every year unnecessarily. And all of that was done to give $1 trillion in tax breaks to the 1%. As everybody knows, just on Tuesday, we had an election all over this country. And what the election showed is that the American people want us to stand up to Trumpism, to his war against working class people, to his authoritarianism. That is what the American people wanted, but tonight, that is not what happened.
This bill does nothing to ensure that that crisis is addressed. I am voting no, and I will keep fighting.
Look, don't let them spin you. The Democrats caved. People have been asking me, what Democrats caved? I want to know. We need to know. Okay, so these are the Democrats who voted to cave to the Republicans. 8 Democratic senators are Dick Durbin, Maggie Hassan, Angus King, Catherine Cortez Masto, Tim Kaine, Jeanne Shaheen, Jackie Rosen, and John Fetterman. They joined the 52 Republicans in this procedural vote to reopen the government without a guaranteed extension of healthcare subsidies. Just a promise to pick it up and maybe vote on it in December.
Water is wet. The sky is blue. The Democrats caved. What else is new? I have so many thoughts about this. In case you have missed it, 10 senators. I haven't even gone through the full list because they pissed me off. But it's 10 Democratic senators have agreed to a deal with the Republicans to open the government. And they let the Republicans play in their faces so much, and y'all knew good and doggone well that y'all not built for this. Y'all not petty enough for this. Y'all not strategic enough for this. Y'all don't stand 10 toes down enough for this. Y'all know that's who y'all are. So if y'all know that's who you are, then don't play in our faces and waste our time for a month. We'd have to do all this.
The Democrats caved. The Democrats caved. What are you? I have tried to calm down so many times to record this video, but Senate Democrats, it's official. They are actually voting with Senate Republicans to reopen the government and got absolutely nothing from the longest government shutdown in history. What was the point of doing this in the first place if you weren't actually going to care about the Affordable Care Act? What does getting a vote in December mean for the millions of people who are going to experience an increase in their healthcare premiums of $100 to thousands of dollars? If you were going to cave that easily, if you were going to be that soft, what was the point in America going through this in the first place? What kind of stunt is this? Whenever you guys get on my page and you try to say, oh, I'm so biased, I'm so this, I'm so that, I will say what I actually feel regardless of what party they are a part of. This is not something I agree with. Try to keep it calm.
Like, what do we stand for? So he needs to be replaced and step down. More Democrats need to be calling for that. The only reason they aren't calling for it, let me be blunt, is because you offend a lot of donors. There are a lot of billionaires. There are a lot of donors that contribute to the DSCC, that contribute to Chuck Schumer. But, we've got to make a choice in this.
Do you think Chuck Schumer needs to go after tonight?
He should have gone a week ago, a month ago, a year ago. Yes. You talk about aim and not meeting the moment, right? Every time he gets in front of the camera, the average Democratic voter out there screams, be done with you, be done. And this will only accelerate that. Yes.
Joe, do you think?
Well, look, in the beginning, Democrats absolutely did want to repeal part of the big, beautiful bill that does strictly prohibit illegal aliens from getting Medicaid benefits. That's a separate issue from SNAP. Look, what happened tonight is what's been happening. Republicans have repeatedly voted to fund SNAP. Democrats had been voting to not fund SNAP by, of course, voting to keep the government closed. And only a handful of Democrats tonight voted to fund SNAP. I'm glad those brave Democrats stepped forward to fund SNAP because people absolutely need it. If this were really about SNAP, if it were really about starving families, Democrats on Twitter and Democrats on social media and Democrats on some of the other networks wouldn't be having the meltdown that they're having tonight. But one good outcome here is that Republicans finally got their way. People will get their SNAP benefits, just the way the Republicans have been voting since day one. I'm shocked, frankly, that Democrats have been voting to defund SNAP. It's pretty shocking, really, that they held these SNAP beneficiaries hostage. And now, here at the end of it, again, it's all political. They got nothing. They held these poor people hostage and literally got nothing. They got nothing except a bunch of anxiety and a bunch of pain throughout the American people.
Did you do this outside leadership, and was there a big push for you not to join the others and break the 60 threshold?
No, we kept leadership informed throughout. And I think it's important to remember who's responsible for why we got into this shutdown. We are here because we are concerned about the health care costs rising significantly on millions of Americans. And we didn't have any indication before the shutdown started that our Republican colleagues were willing to address it. Now, Speaker Johnson is going to have to bring the House back in. He's been AWOL since the beginning of September when we were in the middle of this shutdown. Leader Thune has agreed that we will have a bill that we will write that will give us an opportunity to work on those health care costs. And we believe there are a lot of Republicans, including a lot of Trump supporters, who want to see us do something about this.
Yeah, it looks like we could be nearing the end of this shutdown stalemate. We hope. The Senate voted 60-40 to pass the bill overnight, the first step in a series of procedural maneuvers. 8 Democrats joined Republicans to pass the GOP's revised spending package, including Senate Minority Whip Dick Durbin, Senators Tim Kaine, Catherine Cortez Masto, and Jackie Rosen, among others. Senator Rand Paul was the only GOP no vote. The package will fund the government through the end of January, but in a major blow to progressives, it does not include a deal on Obamacare subsidies. It merely guarantees a vote on the tax credits at a future date. Still, the Dems who did vote for the bill say they were able to extract enough concessions to get them to cross party lines, like reversing the firings of furloughed workers.
This is the beginning to show and fight for Americans across the country. Let me just say this, with the government open, we can focus on passing a full bipartisan budget for 2026.
I understand that not all of my Democratic colleagues are satisfied with this agreement, but waiting another week or another month wouldn't deliver a better outcome.
It was our judgment after 6 weeks, going on 7 weeks of this shutdown, that path wasn't working.
Airlines, which have been dealing with the fallout from flight cuts as a result of air traffic controller shortages, are praising the vote. Airlines for America saying, in part, it is more important than ever to ensure that our nation's airspace is safe, reliable, and open. House leadership, meantime, is telling members to expect votes this week and that they will give a 36-hour notice to return to D.C.
It was a very bad night. Zohran Mamdani, the new socialist mayor of New York, elect, he should be rejected, as should any politics willing to compromise on the basic needs of working people.
But as the mayor, he doesn't get a vote in this. So.
That's right. You got Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. People want us to hold the line for a reason. This is not a matter of appealing to a base. It's about people's lives, Brian.
Yeah, Newsom, who he's now playing the role of tough guy. It's hard to know what role he's playing because he changes so much. We saw a capitulation and betrayal of working Americans. The American people need more from their leaders, and this is Chuck Schumer. America's in the midst of a Republican-made health care crisis, a crisis of so severe, so urgent, and so devastating the American family. Okay, I can't even finish reading this. Here's the thing
Look
about—
at Ro Khanna.
Yeah, Ro Khanna, Senator Schumer should go. No longer effective to be replaced. He should be replaced. You can't lead the fight to stop health care premiums from skyrocketing for Americans. What will you fight for?
So standing up to Donald Trump didn't work. It actually gave him more power.